Start with a story I read this morning. It's of a man by the name of Cliff Young. Tell me when I can put this down, Brother Henry, right? So a man by the name of Cliff Young. Thank you very much, worship team and musicians. Thank you. You enjoyed the worship this morning? Amen. I didn't hear you. Did I miss something? Something made some noise. Did you enjoy the worship this morning? Amen. I enjoyed the worship this morning myself. Amen. This man his name was Cliff Young. He was a farmer. He grew up on a sheep farm, 2,000-acre farm. And the story is that when there was a storm, he had to go out. They had no horses or anything. He had to go out and gather his 2,000 sheep in before a storm came. And one of the most grueling, it's called a super marathon. One of the most grueling super marathons in the world is held in Australia, from Sydney to Melbourne. It's a distance of 438 miles, and normally done over a long period of time. So in 1983, Cliff Young showed up at this marathon wearing his galoshes, similar to tall boots, and his overalls. And he went to the registration desk, so they were wondering whether he had come to observe the marathon. And he said no, he came to take part. So they gave him a number. His number was number 64. And the marathon started. So here was he in his galoshes and in his coveralls. And all these, and this marathon is attended by world-class athletes from around the world. So he had all these trim guys in their athletic wear. And they all took off. And Cliff Young started sliding slowly. That's how it's described. A kind of sliding run, very unusual. So people started to laugh at him. Right? But 5 days, 15 hours and 4 minutes later, he came in the winner of the marathon, and he actually became a national hero because he was the winner of this marathon. And how did he win the marathon? So everybody was surprised, of course. And how did he win this marathon? Well, the runners would normally run for 18 hours and then rest for 6 hours. So they'll run for 18 hours, sleep for 6 hours, and then they'll get up and they will run again. But nobody told this to Cliff Young. So he ran non-stop for 5 days, 15 hours, and 4 minutes, and did not come in a few seconds ahead of the field, did not come in a few minutes ahead of the field, came in 9 hours plus ahead of everybody else because he ran non-stop. Now, this has something to do with what we want to talk about today, and it follows up on what we talked about last week. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 27. We'll read from verse 25. Isaiah 40. From verse 25, and this is the New International Version. To whom will you compare me? Or who is my equal? Says the Holy One. Lift up your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these? He who brings out the starry host one by one and calls forth each of them by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. Why do you complain, Jacob? Why do you say, Israel, my way is hidden from the Lord. My cause is disregarded by my God. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary. and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. And perhaps like Cliff Young, they will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Father, thank you. Thank you for your presence in the midst of our worship. And thank you that we can lift our eyes and lift our hearts and we can celebrate who you are and what you do for us. Thank you for your word today that always speaks into our lives. And again, we expect no different. Speak into our hearts and lives today, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. Today I'm going to talk about overcoming weariness. Overcoming weariness. And literally, simply, weariness means a lack of strength. You know, we say we get tired. You have different words you can use. Exhausted, weary, a lack of strength, a loss of strength. I remember once when I was much younger, I used to climb coconut trees, and I was at Clifton Hill, and we were at a camp and we went down to the beach, and we had a little time on the beach. Normally we have exercise in the morning. I don't know if camps still do that stuff, but we had exercises in the morning, then we walked down to the beach and we had a swim. And then I came back and I ran up a coconut tree. And then I got halfway up the coconut tree. And when I got halfway up the coconut tree, I felt like all my strength left my arms and my legs. And the options were not very many. One was to let go. It was a tall coconut tree. I was probably about 30 feet, 25 feet up in the air when this happened. And what I did, I just locked my feet around the bottom. I locked my arms around the top. And I waited until I had enough strength to slide back down. But that's an example of weariness. An absolute loss of strength. In this case, it was physical in the case of that story. What are the things that weary us? What are the things that weary us? And I will suggest from the text about 5 things that weary us, that hopefully connects with where some of us might be, or we may know people who are in similar situations. One of the things that wearies us is, I'm sure that English is right, but is the pressures of life. Is the pressures, not really sound right, but there's one point. The pressures of life. So in verse 27, we read, "Why do you say, O Jacob, and complain, O Israel? My way is hidden from the Lord." See, there's a background to this. Israel was undergoing stress, and they were wondering if God was still around. And hence these words in this verse, they're saying, my way is hidden from the Lord. My cause is disregarded by my God. In other words, the things I'm experiencing are so pressurizing, challenging, perhaps overwhelming to me, that I am asking. And sometimes we feel that way. Where is God? Where is God? I have an interesting sermon. Maybe one of these days you might hear it. God, what are you up to? God, what are you up to? Right? Where is God? Sometimes we become weary with life itself. I've been following for a few days the story of a young pastor who committed suicide. And it's not necessarily because he's a pastor, but as I read the story, apparently he was suffering from depression, and he eventually, a very young man, upcoming in ministry, committed suicide, leaving a wife and three 3 young boys. But sometimes people get weary of life itself, and sometimes a suicide is the result of weariness. People get weary of life itself. I remember a particular lady in a church I pastored, the first church I pastored, and every time I go look for her, she say, "I'm tired, I want to die." Good Christian lady. You know, she said, tired, take medicine, I'm tired, I want to die. You know how many people died before her? That's just by the way. You know, but sometimes we get weary of life itself, the complexity of life, the persistence of life's challenges. Sometimes it's with some particular aspect of life. So you can get weary with a relationship. I'm tired fighting this. You know, I have people, unfortunately, who in 6 months and a year, them tired already. You know, after I can't handle this no more. I'm tired. You know, sometimes it's a relationship that's not going the way we want it to go, and we're working on it, and we're trying, and then we get tired. Sometimes it's with a job, the conditions of our job. You know, many people work at jobs they don't like. So you're working at something, it is demanding, it is grueling, and the atmosphere is not something that encourages you. And you get tired, and some crazy people, I hope you're not one of them, some crazy people just walk away. You know, they just walk away, and next week they say, no, what are we going to do? You can't always just get up and walk away. I mean, you could, but there's a cost if you choose to do this. Some people, in terms of life, these particular things, sometimes it's an ongoing challenge in a particular area of your life. It might be financial pressures, or it might be some other thing, and these things are as variable as we are human beings. And it's a continuing challenge for you. And you're tired. Getting tired. And for some people, they get weary even of ministry. I don't just speak of pastors. You know, people say, I'm doing this for 30 years, Pastor, I want a break. I don't agree with them, but I just describe it. Right? They give up something when God says the time is up. Right? Whether it's 30 or 3 or 10. I was smiling, Michelle, I'm not talking about you. I just miserable, don't worry with me. So, life itself, sometimes it's all of life. Thank you, Henry, I know you'd get it. Sometimes it's particular aspects of life. So, some things we're happy with, some things we're okay with, some things we're enjoying, and some other things just, you know, they're just sap our energy. We get weary also because we have inadequate strength for a particular task. Inadequate strength for a particular task. So I told this story of running up this coconut tree. Under normal circumstances, I'd shinny up a coconut tree fairly easily. Get up to the top and pull myself in and sit down and rest. But on this occasion, for this particular task, my energy just ran out. You know, we have a saying in Trinidad or Tobago, old lady walk a mile and a half and she... You know, I hear Jeff say, go and play football, I hope you don't... Till in the middle of the game. Till the clock back. He gives strength to the weary. Verse 29. So it's a loss of strength for a task. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Those who are faint, that's what weary means. To exhaust oneself fruitlessly is what that word means. And those who are weak, those who lack physical strength in the midst of their toil. You're in the midst of doing something and your strength just fails. Sometimes we get weary because of time and age. So look at verse 30. It says, even the young men. Why does it say that? Because it assumes something. Young people don't get weary as fast as older people. Older people get weary faster. One of the things I've had to learn as I grow older is that I am different, you know. Some things I'm not able to do again. Hello? I used to become director and you're up till 12 o'clock in the night, sometimes later, making sure Jeffrey and all these people go and sleep. Don't go and pace nobody, they behave themselves. And then I'm at 5 o'clock having my devotion, 6 o'clock I blow in the whistle to wake up everybody. And go whole day again, same thing next day, normally 7, 8 days. I can't do that again. You know, after one time, you know, we have some good sayings in Trinidad, eh? After one time, it's 2 times. You may have heard that. It's another way of putting it, right? You may have variations of it. After one time, it's 2 times. You know, some things, Ramesh, is that true? Yeah, but some things you're able to do. And you have to come to terms with it. You have to come to terms with it. That some things you were able to do, you are not able to do or not able to do as easily as you did it before. Some things too you don't want to do anymore. Some things you don't want to do anymore. You know, because now you don't have this boundless storehouse of excess energy. Like my son, I'll tell him they're boys and girls different, you know, girl. He playing a game, he save up and buy himself a PS4, right? He can only play it on Fridays, maybe Saturdays, maybe today if you finish all his work. But I have to say to the boy, listen, the neighbors will think something wrong with you. Stop screaming so loudly. And then he's in one room, in the other room, you just see him run past. And run back past. Well, I'm there, you all right? I get killed. A boundless source of energy. You can take on all kinds of things. You can take on all kinds of projects. You're ready to go. But after one time, there's 2 times. Comes a point where you don't want to do that anymore. And part of the reason is you begin to focus your life. There's some mess that happens to us, Ramesh, sorry, I'm picking on you. As you get older, and many others who are here, you know, when you get older, I tell older people, when you're young, you're counting up. I can't wait to reach 18. Right? So my son have this thing. So when I get in a car, I say, no problem when you reach 42. I'm getting a SIM card when you reach 35. You know? You finally got a SIM card because you're going to high school far away. But we're counting up. Then I can't wait to get to 25. Then I can't wait to get to 35. They say that's the prime of your life. Then I can't wait to get to 50. Because you're celebrating, I make the half century. And then you might be saying, you might, I can't wait to get to 60. But probably for a different reason, because now you start to count down. So before you're counting up, how much more years till I reach 50? When you reach 50, you start saying, boy, how much more years do I have? Counting in the other direction. And for that reason now, you may begin to say to yourself, there are some things I don't want to spend my energy on. There are some things I don't want to spend my time on anymore. I want my life to be focused. Whether it's for the last 30 or 40 or 50 or whatever I may have. I want my life to be focused. I don't want to spend my time doing certain things anymore. So sometimes that's time and age and the impact it may have upon us. And then sometimes we get weary because of continuous exertion or effort at a particular task. So some women say, I get tired cooking. Right? I say some women, but apparently I was mistaken. Right? Tired cooking, a tired wash clothes, a tired clean house. That's how you get tired of your husband. Continuous exertion at a task, and of course it can be a temporary task. Anything that engages your energy and utilizes your energy, and if you do it long enough. This is an amazing thing, this story of Cliff Young. For 5 days, 15 hours, and 4 minutes. He ran non-stop. It would be interesting to get into the psychology of what's going on in his head. You would expect that he would have collapsed, but he didn't. So if you're doing any task for a long time, you know, I say to grandparents, yeah, grandparents supposed to enjoy your grandchildren. Are you there? Because you're too tired to raise another child. I learned that in school as a principal. When I see some grandparents come in. And Mr. Joseph, I know what to do with this boy. He come and he gone. And you're young now, your parents, you go and find him. Grandparents, wait till he come back home and ask him where he went. You know, some grandparents must enjoy the children. You don't have the energy. Now, I know life is complicated, right? And sometimes grandparents are the ones who come to the rescue when parents die or something else, and you know, and they help support their children and so on, of course. You know, but I really don't have the energy. You know, if you have several children, especially if they're spread out, you won't think children notice. There's an interesting advertisement on TV, on cable about first child, second child, third child. I don't know if you ever saw it. Right? First child, you're going out with a big car trunk full of stuff. Second child, you have a little bag. Third child, you say, come on, boy. And sometimes your older children complain, I didn't have it so easy. Of course, you will experiment with them, right? But still, I didn't have it so easy. And part of the reason is by the time you have 2 or 3 or 4, you don't have the same energy you had with number 1. So you might find you're a little easier, and your children might say you're unfair. Because, oh, this one getting away with what I didn't get away with. I can only imagine that, right? I only have one. Continuous exertion of effort is something that wearies us. And The last thing that wearies us is a failure to renew our strength. Those who wait upon the Lord shall be renew their strength. They will run and not be weary. So if they renew their strength, then they would not become weary. I read a very interesting bit of research about 2 or 3 weeks ago about what happens when you don't rest. I hear somebody say stress, but actually the research concluded this, that when you don't rest, you are operating like someone who's under the influence of alcohol with the same level of impairment. Some are not reading something, CNN or something, one of those side articles. Very interesting. I actually copied it and kept it. But what happens when you don't rest? Right? And all the people who feel they can multitask and keep going and never stop. Half of the people on the road, sometimes I feel I sleep good last night. You drive up and down the highways and so on. You say, what happened to them? You feel like, boy, like they're on their rest good. They get judgment impaired. Some of the things people do on the road. Of course, that's probably a little too simplistic. Notice, Jesus also became weary. It's not we are not unusual. When he was in his human state, in John chapter 4, it says now he had to go through Samaria. So he came to a town in Samaria called Sychar, near the plot of ground Jacob had given to his son Joseph. And Jacob's well was there. And it says, and Jesus, tired as he was from his journey. So when he occupied this human state like we do, he got weary. So he said, tired as he was from his journey, he sat down by the well. So, being weary, of course we know this from our own experience. It's not something that is unusual. It's something that we all experience. Are you still there? So, let's go to my point now, kinda. How do we overcome weariness? Just from the text, and then we'll explore it a little bit further. How do we overcome weariness? Verse 31 tells us, we overcome weariness by renewed strength. We know that from our own experience. So here was I, up in the middle of this coconut tree. What do I do? Let go? That was an option, but not one that was pleasant to consider. Try to go up further, I could not. So I tried to maintain the status quo, so to speak. And hold on until I felt enough strength come back to my arms and legs so I could quickly shimmy down the tree. The solution to weariness is strength. If I'm tired, I need my strength to be renewed. If I am physically tired, I probably need to sleep or to find some other way to rest. Verse 31, those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run, not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. To renew means to change for the better. The word that's used here means to change for the better. To renew. To change for the better. That word strength means the potential to exert force in performing a function. It could be physical, it could be muscular, it could be authority. Shall renew their strength. It means the capacity to do a mighty deed. Now it's to take on a challenge. To do something difficult. Like a miracle. or the ability to perform a task. So when I run out of strength and my strength is renewed, when I have no ability, then my strength is renewed. Now I have the ability. I have the energy. I have the resources such as wealth and material things. That's what strength also means, that, resources. I renew my resources. And it also means being qualified for a task. So if you put that against some of the things that cause us to become weary, the text suggests that the solution is to renew our strength. In verse 29, it says, he gives strength to the weary. What do the weary people need? Whatever the cause of our weariness, we need strength. He gives strength to the weary. And he increases the power of the weak. An equivalent idea. And that word power is a slightly different word. That word means internal strength. The other word means more external strength and resources and qualifications and material things and physical energy. This word that's translated power means internal strength. So he renews our strength internally and externally. Makes it more. He increases power. Makes it more than it is. So the way to overcome weariness is to increase strength. But let's explore this a little bit further. It says, God gives strength to the weary, and he increases the power of those who are weak. Why is God able to do this? Why is God able to do this? I'll give you three reasons. One, because of who he is. Because of who he is. The word Lord that is used there is a reference to God as being eternal and self-existent. It's Yahweh, the I am that I am that I am. Self-existent, needing nothing, absolutely complete in himself. Self-sustaining, self-generating. In other words, God does not have to get strength from anywhere. God don't sleep. He doesn't need to. He put the Sabbath, we are told, not for him, but for us. Because he doesn't need to rest. When God acts, it doesn't use up his energy. Because his energy is unending. So now, if I were in trouble and I came to Stephanie or to Vishnu or to somebody, if I were in trouble, you can only do for me what you can. And sometimes we have good people around us who can only help us so much. Because they themselves run out of strength, out of resources, out of energy, out of time, But God has unending strength. God does not get tired. That's what the text says. We come to it in a minute. He has unending strength. Enough for me and you and you and you and you, and not one at a time, but all together at the same time. It's because of who he is. We said last week, all sufficient. And that's the connection to last week. Because of who he is. He's the Lord. Do you not know? Verse 21, have you not heard? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood? Since the earth was founded, he sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and its people are like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy and spreads them out like a tent to live in. He brings princes to naught and reduces the rulers of this world to nothing. No sooner are they planted, no sooner are they sown, no sooner do they take root in the ground, and he blows on them, and they wither, and a whirlwind sweeps them away like chaff. To whom will you compare me? Or who is my equal? Says the Holy One. Lift up your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these? He who brings out the starry hosts by name and calls them each by name, because of his great power and his mighty strength, not one of them is missing. Verse 26. Because of who he is. A second reason that he is able to do this is because of what he possesses. And I alluded to it a minute ago. He possesses endless strength. It says he does not get weary. He does not get weary. They used to sing that song a long time, right? It's not about God, it's about us, but I never get weary yet. And it has to do with praising the Lord. I never get weary praising the Lord. God could sing that. He does not get weary. He is and has an endless source of self-sustaining energy. Exodus 15, the Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will praise him, my Father's God. I will exalt him. The Lord is my strength and my song. He becomes my salvation. Why? Because of what he possesses. Do you not know? Have you not heard? Verse 28, the Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. Because of who he is, because of what he possesses. Endless strength. He does not go weary. He does not become exhausted. He is never fatigued. He never lacks anything. He's never fatigued because he doesn't have enough to eat or enough to drink, or his mind doesn't get tired, his spirit doesn't get tired. No toil tires him because of what he possesses, endless energy. And thirdly, because of what he does, he gives strength to the weary and renews the strength of the weak. Because God has this endless source of self-sustaining energy, he's able to give strength to the weary. For as much as we need, for as long as we need it. Gives us the capacity to act, to exert force, to do all the things that we need to do. Note, God's strength also enables us to achieve supernatural things. Things that are beyond our natural ability or capacity, because we don't do it ourselves. God's strength enables this to happen, so that we can mount up with wings like eagles, run and not grow weary, walk and not faint. In Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10, Isaiah writes, he says, fear not, and these are the words of God to Israel. He says, fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Wherever you are today, if you feel completely overwhelmed, overcome, like me in the middle of this coconut tree and hoping nobody is seeing me. And in another sense, hoping that somebody was seeing me because I could not help myself. Wherever we are, whatever it is that has drained or drains our energy so that we feel, I can't take another moment of this. He gives strength to where he says, I will strengthen you. But God, you don't understand. I will strengthen you. But God, it's been so long. I will strengthen you. But God, I will help you. I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. When you are totally devoid of strength, I will strengthen you. I will help you. And if you are in a place where help is not enough, I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. What are the results? What are the results when we embrace and we experience that strength? Verse 31 says, we mount up with wings like eagles. We mount up with wings like eagles. Let me read a little bit for you about eagles' wings. Right? We mount up with wings like eagles. We know that eagles fly very well and also very high. During migration, eagles can be seen flying 1 to 1.5 miles high. So high an eagle flies. So you have to understand the statement in context, right? I will mount up with wings like eagles 1 to 1.5 miles high. How much sense is that? Who's a good maths person here? When I fly, I fly 31,000 feet. Right? How does that, Akil, you can help me? Or Hero, when I use science people, who else? How does that relate to 1.5 miles? It's less, right? Much less. Am I correct? Or wrong? Huh? Tell you 1,000 feet. How does that compare to 1.5 miles? See people on their calculator. Huh? Okay, so it's higher. Okay, all right, that was wondering. So, an eagle could be seen without no plane. Hello? Without no engine. I'm amazed at the airplanes, you know. I've flown on very, very large aircraft. And you wonder how that thing goes up in the air and stays. You know, it's amazing to me. Of course, there's science behind it. Rules and laws behind it. But still an amazing thing, you know. Eagles have been clocked at 80 kilometers per hour. That was the old speed limit, right? In level flight. And probably hit 100 to 120 kilometers per hour when it's gliding. Are you there? Now, remember what we're talking about, yeah? It says you will mount up with wings like eagles. The bird's wings are long and broad, which makes them effective for flying. The male eagle has a body measuring 30 to 34 inches. In length, has a wingspan that ranges from 72 to 85 inches. That's 6 feet, right? 6'12". 6 or 7 feet wingspan. Right? You will mount up with wings like eagles. Feathers are the eagle's principal adaptation for flight. The eagle has approximately 7,000 feathers. The feathers are lightweight, hollow, yet very strong, very flexible. The feathers provide waterproofing and protection, but are most important for flying. The feather structure helps the eagle easily stay in the air. The shape and size of the eagle's wings work with the air currents to keep the eagle flying high. Eagles have wing slots on the ends of their wings, finger-like gaps between the large and primary feathers. These can be adjusted to help the eagle maintain a steady flight pattern, increase lift, and permit precise maneuvering. Another feature which contributes to the eagle's flight is its structure or skeleton. The skeleton of an eagle weighs less than half as much as its feathers. Many people are puzzled to learn that the bald eagle typically weighs only between 8 and 16 pounds. With this, their massive size and wingspans, they appear monstrous. In fact, the eagle's skeleton is only 5 or 6% of its weight. The bones of the eagle are light and hollow. The bird's tail is extremely important for flight and maneuvering. While the eagle is flying, its tall feathers are spread out in order to keep the biggest surface area and raise the effect of the thermals and updrafts. The tail also helps to stop the bird when it lands and helps the bird in stabilization during a controlled flight. The American bald eagle never reaches any speed that interferes with its regular breathing. You will mount up, that's the point I'm making, with wings like eagles, able to soar 1.5 miles and able to go at speeds of 100, 120 miles an hour, which none of us drive at because we observe the $100 speed, 100 kilometer speed limit on the highway. All right, I'll give you 103. You will mount up with wings as eagles. As eagles. Right? And as they explains, it is because of the eagle's wingspan, it picks up these currents in the air, these updrafts. It carries it up and keeps it up and gives it its speed. The more we draw our strength from God, the more effortlessly we soar. That's an important point. Just that the eagle just picks up the updrafts without effort. If you see an eagle fly, you wouldn't see it flapping its wings. Some craziness going on here. We mount up with wings as eagles. It says, we will renew our strength. Those who hope in the Lord, they will renew their strength. Restore, reactivate, reinvigorate. When you come to the end of yourself and you are about to collapse, or like me in the middle of the coconut tree, Lord, what am I going to do? Why didn't I think before I ran up this coconut tree after all this exertion? We come to the end of ourselves. He renews our strength, and I explain what strength is. Changes it for the better, makes it new. That's what renew is. And the third thing, we have activity without weariness. Activity without weariness. So they will run and not grow weary. It's the activity. And it is exertive, I don't know if that's a word, exertive activity. I'm sure Misha will correct me after the service. if I got it wrong. Run, run. They will run and not grow weary. And they will walk and not faint. Walk without loss. They run and they walk. They exert themselves without weariness. Of course, it's not talking about physically there. Activity without weariness. So then, what is our part? Now winding up now. Our part is to hope or to wait on the Lord. Sometimes we have no control over the situations around us that make us weary. They are not always situations we can just walk away from. Sometimes there are things we have to live with that keeps draining our energy. God's strength is self-sufficient, self-generating. That is in God. That's apart from us. So we have no control over the things that weary us many times. We have no control over the strength of God, but what can we do? Those who hope, King James, wait on the Lord, will renew their strength. They will soar with wings like eagles. Walk and run. What does it mean to hope or wait? The word means enduring. The tension of enduring. The stretch or tension of enduring. So it means to endure. So even though there are things around me pressing me down and wearing me out, but I endure. It also means to look eagerly for. Those who hope or wait in the Lord. So while the pressure is on, Daniel, I lock my hands and I lock my feet and I hold on. I hold on. I hold on. You know, sometimes you want to let go. If I let go, it would have been worse. I hold on. I hold on. It's rough, but I hold on. I'm not letting go. I hold on. But I also look eagerly for whom? Wait on, hope for whom? The Lord. So I look eagerly for his intervention. Not like Israel that says, Lord, you have regarded our condition. Where are you? You have disregarded, our condition. Where are you? Are you not aware of what we're experiencing? Of course he is. So hold on and look eagerly. Look eagerly. When you're going to come through, God. When you're going to come through. I get up each day, when I get up, I resolve, I will hold on, but each day I'm saying to myself, perhaps this is the day. God will come through. Perhaps this is the day. God will intervene. Perhaps this is the day. God will begin to turn this around. Perhaps this is the day. I looked eagerly for God. The word also means to linger. That notion of wait in the King James. To linger. Sometimes he's in too much of a hurry. Too much of a hurry. We want it done and we want it done yesterday. To wait is to learn to linger. Not rush. We often use this term waiting on the Lord. It's this Pentecostal idea of waiting on the Lord is prayer, right? That's the Pentecostal idea. Or coming to the altars. We used to have tarrying services. To tarry is to wait, right? Long time. Waiting to be filled with the Holy Spirit. I don't know if you all were around in those days. And at times when you came, sometimes we come to the altar, but I had to be home by 12:30, yeah? So we had time to wait. I don't mean this is not a rebuke. It's just life is different, I know. Yes, we had time to wait, to linger. To linger. Even when we pray, we don't have time to linger. We don't have time to linger. God, here's the list. Check it tomorrow if I have time. The time to linger. Life is so busy. Our part. Do we need to? You see, something's happening when you linger. Sometimes when you linger, you rest. Sometimes you slow down the pace. And you rest in the presence of God. Sometimes when you linger, you hear. God, you're not rushing. You hear what God has to say to you about something that's happening to you. Sometimes you hear a word of instruction that solves a problem that you're stressing over. Sometimes you hear it's going to be all right. A word of comfort. Say, chill, baby. It'll be all right. I'll take care of it. Relax. Relax. Stop stressing. Stop stressing. I am in control. Stop stressing. I am handling this. Linger. Not rushing. Lingering. I know life demands may not be possible for us, like happened in different times where people will come and spend a whole day. I was a young Christian. Church was a hot place, apart from the fact that we didn't have ACs. When you come by church, prayer and fasting, there are people in the church lingering. Lingering. And they have a problem. And then the church lingering. All day. Pass in the morning, you see them. You pass back in the evening, you see them. Down by the altars. And sometimes, I've been telling people this week, you get what you pay for. Sometimes we want the same experience they had. So we like the dress, but we ain't spending so much money. And not exactly how it works. If you like the dress, I want the dress, you have to pay the price. You can wait for a sale if you want. Clearance, You go to New York, you know all the Trinidadians, just go look at the clearance section. I have some nice 199 t-shirts and things to sleep in, you know. Clearance. Means to linger. So maybe if I try to summarize it, to look forward with confidence to what is good and beneficial. To look forward with confidence to what is good and beneficial. And the word itself really focuses on the anticipation. Sometimes it's the anticipation makes us linger a little longer. Wait for the Lord, Psalm 27 says, be strong, take heart, wait for the Lord. Psalm 37, wait for the Lord, keep his way, verse 34, he will exalt you to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, you will see it. When I hear this, sometimes I wonder if it has something to do with walking in God's purpose, when it talks about waiting for the Lord. God, I'm doing what you sent me to do, so you have to come true for me. I have an anticipation. I'm in the place that you place me. You have to take care of this. So I have an anticipation, it'll come true. First Chronicles 16 verse 11 says, look to the Lord and his strength. Seek his face always. Same thing, wait. Our part. God can do what he can do. Our situations do what they want. We can choose to wait on the Lord. To hope. To linger. To anticipate his action on our behalf. James Hudson Taylor was a British missionary, founded the China Inland Mission. He spent 51 years in China as missionary. Hear what he said. He said, many Christians estimate difficulty in the light of their own resources. Many Christians estimate difficulty in the light of their own resources. And thus, he says, they attempt very little and they always fail. All giants have been weak men who did great things for God because they reckoned on his power and presence to be with them. They reckoned on his power and presence to be with them. So in the face of their own limitation and their own weariness and their own weakness, they learned how to wait in its full sense, to trust, to expect, to linger in the presence of God until he comes through. And they have been able to do great things for God. I end with something Jesus says. He says, come unto me. Matthew chapter 11, I think it's verse 13. All you who labor and are heavy laden, those things that weigh us down, stress us, sometimes cause us less than the best nights of sleep. Come unto me, all you who labor. And that word labor means copious, back-breaking effort. and are heavy laden. Now, two pictures, right? Labor is exertion of effort. Heavy laden is the load on your shoulders. All you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. Wait on the Lord. Hope in the Lord, and you shall find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Life is full of things that weigh us down, that stress us, that weary us. Everybody has stress. Everybody has stress. Hopefully not in every single area of your life. Even when life is going well in one area, there are other areas of stress. And that stress has the capacity to weary us, tempt us to give up, to walk away, to lose hope, to lose faith. But those who wait, hope in the Lord, they shall, not might. Because you see, those are the ones who have learned to catch the updrafts. And when they catch the updrafts, they don't need to exert energy. The updrafts carry them at great speeds and way up above the clouds. They shall run, not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. See, if you're being overcome and you're collapsing with weariness, perhaps you have to take a little time and linger and wait and hope and expect from God. Amen? Let's pray. Father, thank you.